right, Shalom. Before I get started, I want to give all glory, honor, and praise to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, Bahashem, Rakah HaKodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders at GMS. Peace, honor, and respect to you brothers that's out there laboring, edifying, rightly dividing the word in truth and sincerity. And Shalom to you believers out there at the Akinwa Akwath. And the picture you are looking at right here, all right, is of this lady, this devil, Margaret Sanger. All right. And if you know anything about Margaret Sanger, she was the founder of the first birth control clinic in the United States. All right. As you can see here, it says it was 100 years ago. All right. On October 16th. Now, this was published October 14th, 2016. It was 100 years ago on October 16th, 1916, that Margaret Sanger opened the first birth control clinic in the United States. All right, an advocate for women's reproductive rights, who was also a vocal eugenics enthusiast, Margaret Sanger leaves a complicated legacy, and one that conservatives have periodically leveraged into sweeping attacks on the organization she helped found, Planned Parenthood. All right. And when you go into it, you know, she was creating, I believe, the birth control pill. But what I wanted to get into is when we go to Exodus, the first chapter. Matter of fact, before we go there, let's go to Deuteronomy 28 and 68. All right. Because when you get into this verse right here, you know, you can see the similarities of Egypt with the United States, excuse me. Deuteronomy 28:68. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships, by the way whereof I spake unto thee, thou shalt see it no more again. And there ye shall be sold unto your enemies for bondmen and bondwomen, and no man shall buy you. All right. Now, what I want to, this is speaking of, you know, the transatlantic slave trade, no doubt. You have naysayers, all right. But the Lord said he was going to bring us into Egypt again, all right. And even when you go to, all right, Revelation 11th chapter, I believe, and the 8th verse, it says, and their dead bodies shall lie in the streets, the street of that great city, all right? And that great city is referring to what? Babylon the Great, America, man. That's that great city, all right? Which spiritually is called Sodom and Egypt, where also our Lord was crucified. And why was our Lord crucified in America? No. It's saying that because his image, all right, as they painted him a so-called white man with blonde hair, blue eyes, you know, his demeanor, his you know, they got him all soft and, you know, when Yahweh Shah was a, you know, austere man, and he was a man of color, all right? Take a penny and look at it in bronze, you know, burnt bronze, that would be of a dark-skinned man, all right? But what I really want to focus on is, which spiritually is called Sodom and Egypt. Now, I'm going to jump over Sodom because America is spiritually Sodom because of all of the ABC activity. But I want to focus on Egypt in this lesson. Now, I did a lesson a while back on the similarities in Egypt and the United States. All right. And we can go into the makeup, we can go into the hair, we can go into this and that. But I want to go into now, I want to go to, all right, because the Lord said what? He was going to bring us. The Lord said that, all right, he was going to bring us into Egypt again with ships, all right? And what race of people was known for being packed on ships like sardines, brought to the Americas, the North America, South Americas, the Caribbean islands, and you know, it was the so-called Negroes, man, from West Africa, all right, which are the true Israelites, all right, the true Israelites, all right. Them people in our land right now, they ain't getting packed in ships, and no, the Lord said He was gonna bring the Israelites into Egypt again, and we know when we were in Egypt, all right. Now let's go to the Exodus first chapter. The heading says Israel multiplies in Egypt. Now let's focus on this and, bring it with Margaret Singer. All right, because nothing is new under the sun. Now, Exodus 1. I'm going to start at verse 7. It says, and the children of Israel were fruitful and increased abundantly, all right, and multiplied and waxed exceeding mighty. And the land was filled with them. And you know how Jake is, man. Jake don't be wanting to have babies. And we be popping them out. The Latin tribes, the Native American tribe, all of us, man. We are a fruitful people, for real. All right. Because when you get into it, all of those low sperm counts, and that's Esau, man. Esau be having that ED a lot of the times. Jake be getting it in. All right. In verse 8, it says, now there arose up a new king over Egypt, which knew not Joseph. And he said unto his people, behold, all right, pay attention. Behold, the people of the children of Israel are more and mightier than we. Come on, let us deal wisely with them, lest they multiply. And it come to pass that when there falleth out any war, they join also unto our enemies and fight against us, and so get them up out the land. All right. So I want to focus on verse 9 and 10. All right. Because they said the children of Israel are more and mightier than we. All right. Verse 10, it says, come on, let us deal wisely with them, lest they multiply. All right. Meaning we keep having babies and babies. All right. Now, when you go down here, verse 11, therefore they did set over them taskmasters to afflict them with their burdens. And they built the Pharaoh treasure cities, Pithom and Ramesses. And when we got to the Americas, what did we do? We built America, man, the Israelites. All right. From the northern to the southern kingdom, man. All right. We built America, man. We put in years of free slave labor, man. All right. Which made America be put on, man. It was put on because of the Israelites, just like in ancient time. All right. We built the treasure cities. OK, verse 12. But the more they afflicted them, the more they multiplied and grew. Now, you got to think when you see our people in the poverty in these projects and barrios and all of that, and they walking around 4, 5 kids, 6 kids on welfare, on EBT, this and same thing. All right. The more we was afflicted, the more we multiplied. All right. Sex was that stress reliever, man. All right. Think about it. And the same thing. That's why you have a chick in the project. Niggas rap about it, talk about it all the time. Man, that girl in the project, she got like 6 kids. Yeah, the more they afflicted them, the more they multiplied and grew. And they were grieved because of the children of Israel. And the Egyptians made the children of Israel to serve with rigor. All right, just like in this over here in America. All right, spiritual Egypt. Okay, we was made, when you go to those them cotton plantations, and how we was just made to work from can't see to can't see, all of the things that we, went through. All right. Verse 14, and they made their lives bitter with hard bondage in mortar and in brick and in all manner of service in the field. All their service wherein they made them serve was with rigor. All right. Our people in the Americas, we had to serve with rigor, man. All right. Get beat for any little thing. All right. Now, verse 15. And the king of Egypt spake to the Hebrew midwives, of which the name of one was Sephar, Shipharah, and the name of the other Puah. And he said, when ye do the office of a midwife to the Hebrew women, see them upon the stools. If it be a son, then ye shall kill him. But if it be a daughter, then she shall live. All right. So check this out. Verse 9 and 10 and verse 16. All right. Verse 9 and 10 said, and he said unto his people, behold, the children of Israel are more and mightier than we. Come on, let us deal wisely with them, lest they multiply. Verse 16, he said, when ye do the office of a midwife to a Hebrew woman and see them upon the stools, if it be a son, then ye shall kill him. Number one, because the men, have the seed. Whatever the man is, the father is, that's what that child is. They knew this in antiquity. All right. There's no such thing as mixed. All right. If your father is a so-called white man and your mother is a so-called black woman, you would be a white boy or a white girl. You're not mixed. You can't say, oh, I'm black. No. Your father, you are of your father's seed. That's another lesson for another day. But you see how this was planned, parenthood. All right, think about it. Now it said, come, let us deal wisely with them. All right. Now what I want to do is go right here to the Reuters. It says, fact check Planned Parenthood founder Margaret Sanger's 1939 quote on exterminating black population taken out of context, which she's a devil. She was racist. All right. They want to say that, but we all know. All right. Now it says, I want to read this. The quote reads, matter of fact, let me just start from here. Social media users are sharing a quote from Planned Parenthood founder Margaret Sanger without context. An example could be seen here. The quote reads, we do not want word to go out that we want to exterminate the Negro population. Some versions of the post includes quote by Hillary Clinton or former U.S. President Barack Obama complimenting Sanger. Sanger, a feminist and reproductive rights activist, opened the first birth control clinic in Brownsville, Brooklyn in 1916, giving access to low-income and minority women. She started the Negro Project in 1939 with the aim of expanding birth control services for black communities in the South, according to the New York University Project documenting Sanger's writing. Now, people will commend her for this, like, well, she gave birth control to low-income black chicks. But Exodus 1 and 10 said, come on, let us deal wisely with them, lest they multiply. All right. And it come to pass that when there falleth out any war, they join also unto our enemies and fight against us. Deal wisely with them. All right. We going somewhere. All right. The quote is real and appear in a December 10th, 1939 letter to a program director advocating employing black physicians and ministers to gain trust of the communities the program was meant to serve. All right. Now, somebody else might say, look, she want to employ black physicians and ministers. All right. So now let's go here. Let's go to this letter. Yep. Now let's go down here to this letter. Let's focus on this one. To Dr. C.J. Gamble. All right, this was December 12, 1939. It says, there is only one thing that I would like to be in touch with, and that is the Negro Project of the South, which, if the execution of the details remain in Ms. Rose's hands, my suggestion will not be confusing because she knows the way my mind works. Miss Rose sent me a copy of your letter of December 5th, and I note that you doubt it worthwhile to employ a full-time Negro physician. It seems to me, from my experience, where I have been in North Carolina, Georgia, Tennessee, and Texas, that while the colored Negroes have a great respect for white doctors, they can get closer to their own members and more or less lay their cards on the table, which means their ignorance, superstitions, and doubts. They do not they do not do this with the white people, and if we can train the Negro doctor at the clinic, he can go among them with enthusiasm and with knowledge, which I believe will have far-reaching results among the colored people. Now, some may say that no, she meant well, but the scriptures let us know never to trust our enemy. And again, when you go here in verse 10, it says, "Come on, let us deal wisely with them." All right. See, because this devil, matter of fact, let me get this. Let me get this real quick. Yep. Let me get this scripture. Oh man, why I keep on? Let me see if I'm gonna be able to get it, nail it off of this. No. Wait a minute. Ecclesiasticus 14, and I'm gonna start at verse 5. He that is evil to himself, to whom will he be good? He shall not take pleasure in his goods. And we all know the so-called white man and woman, but the so-called white man who's in control, he's not even good to his own people. All right. So to who else will he be good? Verse 6, there is none worse than he that envieth himself, and this is the recompense of his wickedness. And if he doeth good, he doeth it unwillingly, and at the last he will declare his wickedness. And that goes for the white woman as well. All right. She don't have good intentions for us either. All right. So Margaret Sanger basically wanted to employ these black physicians so the black people can trust it. Now let's read this letter further. All right. It says, all right, let me show you. I'm where it say they. All right. It says they do not do this with the white doctors. And if we can train the Negro doctor at the clinic, he can go among them with the enthusiasm and with the knowledge, which I believe will have far-reaching results among colored people. His work, in my opinion, should be entirely with the Negro profession and the nurse, hospital, social workers, as well as the county's white doctors. His success will depend upon his personality and his training by us, right? All right. The minister's work is also important. All right. And they're talking about the black church because the black church has been a key ingredient in keeping our people docile, no matter what nobody say. All right. That's why they don't teach that you're Israelite. They don't teach about, Esau. They don't teach about rulership. They don't give you the real pure word form of the Bible. Even if some of them do know it, they're not going to do it because they're on a 501c3 and they're under the white man's thumb. And it's been like this for a long time. So why would she go to the ministers? Why would she go to the black church? Because she know that is a staple in the black community. And with the black church, you can manipulate the black people. All right. Again, Exodus 1 and 10. Come on, let us deal wisely with them. All right. Let's deal wisely with them. The ministers, all right. The minister's work is also important, and also he should be trained. perhaps by the Federation as to our ideas and the goal that we hope to reach. We do not want word to go out that we want to exterminate the Negro population. And the minister is the man who can straighten out that idea if it ever occurs to any of their more rebellious members. So if the word get out like, yeah, they just doing this, to exterminate us, which was a part of her plan. Why is that? Because the Lord said he was going to, by ship, send us to Egypt again. And when we got to this new Egypt, just like in old Egypt, what did in verse 9, Exodus 1 and 9, it says, and he said unto his people, behold, the people of the children of Israel are more and mightier than we. Come on, let us deal wisely with them, lest they multiply. All right, lest they multiply. And in verse 16, the sons were to be killed. All right, that was an order given to the Hebrew midwives. All right. So when the Lord said he was going to bring us into Egypt again in Revelation 11, when it says that what? In that great city, spiritually, Sodom and Egypt, it was not to be cute. It was true. All right. It's other similarities. I did a lesson on it. I might do another lesson on it, Lord will. But I want to hit this point right here. All right. So she went to the ministers as well. All right. Why would she do that? All right, why? If she meant good, why she going to the ministers? All right. If she say, we don't want the word to go out, that we want to exterminate the Negro population, and the minister, the black pastor, preacher, is the man who can straighten out that idea. See? So if Negroes in the hood was like, no, man, we don't, no, she just trying to do this then you'll have the black caucus, the black church come in and say, no, no, that ain't what it's about. And see, again, the black church has been a key ingredient in keeping our people docile. Now, when you go here, and I'm gonna close out with this. All right, when you go in this article, which, Planned Parenthood's reckoning with Margaret Sanger's racism doesn't go far enough. All right. Now I want to get this little stat before I end this video, and Lord willing, it's edifying. Right here. By one estimate, 79% of Planned Parenthood facilities are located within walking distance of African American or Hispanic neighborhoods. Why is that? Because we're the Israelites. All right. And they know we multiply like that. All right. Whereas the average white woman might live her whole life without coming within 25 miles of one of these facilities. See? For many women of color, it's far easier to find an abortion clinic than a bank branch or a decent grocery store. Whether by design or not, which it is by design, it reveals a system or structure that disadvantages people of color in the most basic way possible by depriving them of life. All right. So 79% of Planned Parenthood facilities is located within a walking distance in the black communities and Hispanic communities. All right. But in the white community, a white chick might not see it her whole life or come within 25 miles. And why is that? Why is that? Because we're in spiritual Egypt. The Lord said he was going to bring us again in Egypt by ships, which he did. And we're over here now till this day, man, in the land of our captivity. You see what I'm saying? So, Lord willing, this was edifying. To the next lesson. Shalom.